Welcome to The Inside Source, the podcast that is everything sports marketing. From agents and athletes to large and small brands, we are your number one source for inspiration on how to work with athletes.
Foster, what's going on, man? How are you?
Here we go. Drew, what's going on?
I'm all good, man. Thanks so much for your time. How's everything going? Are you in Vegas right now?
Yeah, in Vegas, going well. Just got back from OTAs about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, tell me about that to start. I mean, no OTAs a year ago. Back in the saddle. Obviously, NFL offseason, it's exciting. You're back in the mix. Give a little bit of background on yourself. Obviously, you went to LSU. You're a tight end now with the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll get to that in just a bit. But how's day-to-day life right now, man? A little bit of normalcy, which has to be nice.
Yeah, day-to-day is going great. Las Vegas is opening up a little bit. You could kind of see it everywhere. I mean, when you go down, get on the interstate, I-15, you could kind of tell that, traffic's starting to pick up, and a lot of people look at that as a negative thing, but it's kind of cool because the city's opening back up again. Capacity's growing larger and larger. A little background on me. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, born and raised, back and forth with Hurricane Katrina to Baton Rouge. And obviously went to LSU for college, had a great 4 years there, graduated, and now it's my third year with the Raiders, and back in OTAs, back with a little bit of normalcy. I'm loving it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, congratulations on year 3 coming up. We'll back up a little bit. Everybody who's tuning in now, this is a live edition of the Inside Source podcast. I'm your guest host. Usually our founder and CEO, Chase Garrett, is the one taking you through the ins and outs of sports marketing. He interviews top agents, athletes, and brand managers because that's what we do. We connect brands with athletes. We got so much to talk to today with Foster, our special guest, and I am the executive vice president of the collegiate division because Inside Source right now, we're here to tell you that Icon Source is going to be the premier marketplace to connect athletes with brands and help them capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. So we're fired up. We got an awesome guest here today in Foster. So Foster, thanks so much for joining us. You just said you're from New Orleans, obviously Hurricane Katrina 2005. I was in high school then. I remember a bunch of students coming into the Atlanta area because they had to relocate. Just an amazing storm that ripped through, completely tragic, obviously had an effect on your childhood, but you went back to New Orleans. You ended up at LSU. Was that the only place you wanted to go to school, or were there others that you had thought about, maybe University of Georgia, which is right behind me?
Georgia never contacted me. I know you're a lifetime Georgia Bulldog.
That's right.
I got the whole update. But LSU was definitely my dream, certainly. And how it went down was I was actually offered National Signing Day.
Oh, wow.
I thought I was offered about 2 months prior, but turns out that offer was uncommittable, as given to me by Cameron and Les Miles. So that was a fun little pre-signing day experience for me.
Yeah.
Certainly. But that was my dream school. Other than that, I would have gone to Tulane and play with my old high school quarterback, Tanner Lee. Great quarterback, good guys. He's still in the league. I think he's with Jacksonville now. I'm not sure. But it would have been a good experience. Took a couple of officials to a couple of different places, but it probably would have been Tulane if it wasn't LSU. But thank God everything came through, and had a blast at LSU for 4 years.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, certainly one of the most recognizable brands in all of college football. But you said if it wasn't LSU, you were going to stay home and go to Tulane. So you certainly wanted to hang around your community where you felt most comfortable, where you knew you would have success, and you had that success. So that's really exciting. Speaking of Baton Rouge, speaking of Saturday nights on the Bayou, so many memorable moments. I mean, if you're a college football fan, you know what happens on Saturday nights in Death Valley. Anything that really sticks out to you, memorable moment that you look back on and go, man, that's something I'll just never forget?
In Death Valley, I don't want to, pour salt in the wound, but the only time that I've ever been a part of a field rushing, we beat Georgia back in 2018.
That's right. I do remember that. I think Georgia was ranked number 1 or 2 then. They were
number
there.
2.
Yeah.
They were number 2 at that point. That Monday morning, the Monday morning before that week, we had just lost to Florida the week prior. And I was doing an exercise called seated low row on a Monday morning at 7 a.m. And the cable actually snapped and created an injury for my upper lip. So I had to wear an upside down visor with holes screwed through it because I still had stitches for that game. And then we dropped you guys by 20, and then all the students rushed. And it was just an incredible experience. Death Valley for me, the real Death Valley. We don't mind any of that Clemson stuff.
I've seen that.
The real Death Valley is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
All right, so let's talk about that. Your teammate Hunter Renfrow is in the IG Live right now. He is Clemson legend. He caught that pass from Deshaun Watson to upset Alabama and win Clemson's national championship a couple of years ago. He says Clemson's the real Death Valley. If you look at the most recent matchup between LSU and Clemson, I remember because I had a vested interest in it. That game was not very close at all, Hunter. So bragging rights as to Death Valley may sit with our boy Foster here in Baton Rouge. Any thoughts on, can Clemson really claim that they're Death Valley, Foster?
I don't think so. They have a hill and they have a slide. And, Dabo Swinney's a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a coach, hell of a recruiter. I'd certainly claim Death Valley was, in Clemson, South Carolina. But, for me, where I stand on this, obviously. Hunter's got a lot of skewed beliefs. And we're
I like that. Yeah, I like that. And you know what, Hunter, stick around because we're going to talk about something that I think you would have had a lot of experience with and you would have benefited from a ton, and that's name, image, and likeness. We're going to touch on that in just a little bit. But talking about Baton Rouge, talking about LSU, the tailgating, the environment, the fan base, there's nothing like it. College football, I think, is the best. NFL is a close second. So my question to you is this. Is there any comparison in the NFL to what you do experience around college football? You were in Oakland for a season, and that black hole, that's real deal, and those fans are legit. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Those are, the Oakland black hole is a very, very, very real thing, and we pray that we could get as great of turnout and enthusiasm and real passion as what Oakland gave the Raiders. Obviously, it's a very complicated relationship between Oakland and the Raiders sports organization franchise.
Yeah.
And I stay out of that. That's not my job. I block people. I run routes. I catch the ball. I score. I do special teams. I spike the shit out of the ball. That's my MO, right? But we are so thankful and blessed to have such an incredible fan base. Oakland is, very close. The black hole is very close to a Death Valley, a Tiger Stadium student section. And I've been blessed to have such a lucky experience with such awesome fans who are so passionate about the game.
Yeah, no doubt. I know that from playing against the Raiders, an extremely passionate fan base, whether you were at Oakland Alameda Coliseum, which I would not recommend many people take a visit to. And that new Allegiant Stadium in Vegas looks absolutely unbelievable. I was in Vegas. I saw it being built. I need to get out there and check out a game. It looks really awesome. We touched on it earlier, how everything's going in Vegas, back at OTAs, a little bit of normalcy, getting ready. I'm guessing minicamp's going to be here in a few weeks where you guys get some time off before training camp.
Yeah.
But talk to me about one thing. You moved from Oakland to Las Vegas with an NFL team. Not a lot of people go through that. What was that process like? For everybody out here that has been part of a relocation, usually it's not your entire company moving from one place to the next. I want a little bit of background on what that was like.
It was not fun. It was not a fun experience at all. So for me, it was terrible. I had a really bad time with it. But especially
moving's not fun.
Especially during COVID with all there's a certain lack of communication that came with COVID and no one really knew what was going on. So I was coming off an ACL injury. COVID came. There was hardly any communication with anyone. And the NFLPA and the NFL were going and butting heads with one another. We had a CBA negotiation going on. And then we also had a team relocation going from Alameda down here to Vegas. So I actually, funny quick story, I flew out to Oakland and I was just going to do it all in one day. I was going to take a trip, take all of my stuff, and I'm just going to go all the way down to Vegas and just relocate in one day. I get to Alameda, and I had already called AAA because I knew my battery was going to be dead. AAA couldn't even jump. AAA couldn't even jump my car. We basically had to – we rigged it up, and we got it to like an O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and I spent 2.5 hours with one of the employees getting the battery, which is like underneath the passenger seat, out of the car and just throwing a new battery in there. It was already like 13 hours in total just trying to figure everything out, and I had to drive 8 hours down. It was an exhausting trip, but it was a lot of fun.
That doesn't sound too fun. That doesn't sound great at all.
It wasn't. But we figured it out. We managed, and we're really excited to be here. This is a great city, great atmosphere. It's beautiful outside every single day when I walk out of my front. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, certainly different than the Bay Area. There's no question about that. And then being in Vegas, I'm assuming you're up north around that Summerlin, Henderson area. Any specific restaurants you like? Do you hit up the Strip and go to the great casinos that have some of the best dining in the world? Or what has that been like for you and sort of a day-to-day lifestyle for Foster Moreau?
There's a bunch of obviously awesome, world-class restaurants on the Strip and all the hotels. We like a lot of specific ones. I'm not going to do any free promo, but
pay for that.
Some of the smaller places. There's a couple of places around the facility. There's a sushi spot called I Love Sushi, which is really good. There's another sushi place over in Summerlin. That's awesome. It's called Other Mamas. They have a bunch of different seafood and fun stuff. Hit my DMs. I got great suggestions. If you're going to New Orleans, if you're going to Alameda, if you're going to be here in Las Vegas, there's great food to be had absolutely anywhere you go.
I love it. When you guys do go out to eat, does Hunter Renfro pick up the tab, or does he go Dutch on you all?
Hunter Renfro and I, we go back and forth.
That's good. Reciprocate.
Yeah, absolutely. I picked up the most recent one at Maggiano's. I think he's got the next one.
All right. So Hunter, you know that. And maybe I come out and I'll jump in on that and get on Hunter's tab. All right. I want to talk about something that we are focused on big time here at Icon Source, and it's going into hyperdrive. It seems to be in the news every single day. I think you're going to have a great perspective on it. I know Hunter will as well. He's in the comments right now as we do Inside Source Live right here on Instagram. But that's this new era headed our way in collegiate athletics, with student athletes soon being able to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness. Essentially, what it means is this: student athletes can get paid for endorsing brands, for making social media posts, for shooting a digital commercial. There is a wide variety of compensation avenues now, soon, July 1st in 5 states, hopefully at a federal level soon after that, to which they will be able to make money off their name, image, and likeness. Foster, you went to LSU. You're from the New Orleans area. A lot of people knew and loved who you were while you were at LSU. What are your overall thoughts on this? And then we'll kind of dive into the specifics. Is this long overdue?
I believe so, certainly. There are so many people that profit off of collegiate athletics, image and likeness. And it's a damn shame that it's never been the player. Obviously Instagram likes and Twitter follows are fine, but like that's not what makes the world go round. Guys are, and especially for a lot of guys who are coming from underprivileged situations, and who take their cost of attendance checks. They pay their rent, they buy groceries, and they send the rest of it home to mom and dad. Guys like that, to be able to work to get your image and likeness and get money from it, to get actual financial compensation. I believe that's a real great thing that we're trying to take steps towards. And I'm excited to see where it progresses. I think there's a lot of small issues that people try to bring up, that there are workarounds and there's ways that we could make it fair and still make it competitive recruiting wise. But I'm just happy for these young men that they'll be able to actually profit off of the work that they put on the field, just as much as Joe Schmo in the university library who's selling all these number 9 jerseys. LSU number 9 jerseys in 2019 under, it doesn't have a name on the back. I wonder who that.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
you're totally right. And I think you bring up a great point. A lot of people want to focus on some of the negative things. Negativity gets headlines. We all understand that in this day and age in 2021. But there are so many positives that can come from student athletes being able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. You bring up a great example of kids who come from underprivileged backgrounds who do take those scholarship checks, spend on themselves what they absolutely need, and then send the rest back home to their family. Talk about kids with student loans. I mean, a lot of student athletes aren't on full scholarship, and they accumulate a ton of debt while they're in school. If they have the opportunity to make money and pay down some of that debt and have a head start when they do graduate based on what they earn off their own personal name, image, and likeness, that is a great opportunity as well. And we at Icon Source, we're going to provide them the platform to be able to facilitate those deals with the peace of mind and confidence, knowing that they're doing it the right way. And we're going to provide brands, whether they're hyper local, like in Baton Rouge or Athens, see the Georgia jersey behind me, or Oxford or Knoxville or anywhere in America, to regional and national brands, to now know where they can go to engage with those student athletes in a secure and transparent manner. Let's go back to LSU. Let's talk about you personally, right? We all know Hunter Renfrow was in school for 14 years. He could have made a ton of endorsement money while in Clemson, especially after they won that national championship. But for Foster Moreau, I mean, you are from that area. You had a lot of great engagement with those student athletes. What do you think your name, image, and likeness situation would have been if you were able to be compensated while in school?
It would have been, it'd have been awesome. It'd have been an awesome opportunity for me. There's a lot of guys who probably could have profited off it a little more. But absolutely being from that area, and just being in touch, I feel like it's an awesome opportunity compensation is one thing, but also create relationships and establish connections with people in the actual business industry. Would be a paramount opportunity for so many of these guys, and I think that could have helped me certainly a lot for life in football as a collegiate athlete, but also life after it.
Yeah, it provides a great opportunity to get a head start. And we believe that. When we talk to schools and athletic directors and compliance officers, we know that the schools are going to provide them with that education, all the resources possible to best situate these student athletes. It'll be there. They'll be drinking out of a fire hose when this thing goes live, because this is a brand new era in collegiate athletics. We hope that those student athletes can take that education, come on over to Icon Source, and we will help them get compensated, because whether it's a small deal or a massive deal, it needs to be done the right way. And that's what we're going to provide for them, both the school and the student athlete. You mentioned how kids, whether they're in college now, will be more incentivized to get involved with their community, reach out to business leaders, talk to the professors at their school, right? Create relationships that will really help them and then possibly boost them up for their NIL potential. Do you think that's a good thing for student athletes? I get questions a lot like, do you think NIL is going to break up a locker room? Do you think teammates are going to look down upon somebody who's able to be compensated at a high margin? What are your thoughts overall with that, based on your experience in college and now in the NFL?
Well, toxicity is everywhere, wherever you look. And in my opinion, if you want to be upset because someone else is producing on the field and someone wants to financially contribute to them as an individual, I feel like that's wrong. And I feel like you have the wrong frame of mind. I just feel like it's an opportunity, same opportunity. Obviously quarterbacks are probably going to get a little bit more compensation just because they're the face of the franchise. And a lot of the times that's just how it works. And you have to understand that that's how it's been for a long time. But that's nothing stopping. There's nothing stopping you from getting the same amount of compensation. What's the saying? Rising tides raise all ships.
Amen, brother.
Right. So I feel like there's nothing stopping these guys, and I'd be over the moon if it happened for one of my teammates. Like, why not? Because that just brings attention to them, and then a little bit could rub off on me, and it's a beautiful circle and a nice cycle of just, I guess, kind of not really clout, but more just availability with different brands and products.
Yeah, and everybody loves to focus on the quarterback. Everybody loves to focus on the point guard of the basketball team. But even at a school like LSU, women's gymnastics, men's golf, women's basketball, I mean, these teams are really successful, and they have fan bases that really love them.
Absolutely.
Look at some of their social media accounts. They got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. And these are the student athletes who are playing the non-revenue sports who will have extreme opportunity because brands know and love them. Brands watch out and support their teams. Talk about that just as a student athlete. Yes, you were on the football team, but there are so many talented student athletes at a great university like LSU where the web is going to spread really wide. And I think you could speak to it. It's not just going to be the football team. There's a lot of opportunity out there.
Absolutely. I mean, even just for at a baseline level of ambassadors for certain brands, right? I mean, you can't even do that at the college level because you don't own your image or likeness for the times that you're signed there. I mean, I was friends with a lot of the different student athletes around campus, and I've been to a lot of the different events, like going to an LSU baseball game, going to a gymnastics meet. Like, oh my gosh, it's incredible turnout. Yeah. Track and field events, and for like, there's so many great platforms for these brands to get involved with these awesome ambassadors of their sports. Because, I mean, all these little girls want to be just like these LSU gymnasts.
Yeah.
Every Friday night they're going to these events and they put on an absolute spectacle. It's incredible. And I'm blessed to call a lot of those girls my friends, but like they could absolutely take advantage of that more than almost anyone.
Yeah, no doubt. And they're soon to have that opportunity. And we're excited to provide that conduit for them to engage with brands. You talk about brand ambassadors, and our CEO and founder is in the comments right here. He says, are you a brand ambassador for Smart Water? You've been sipping on that water bottle a lot. Great product placement. No. Look, you're getting ready.
Just hydrated, man. I steal a couple facility every day. I'm just trying to stay hydrated.
I love it. Well, tell us something that we might not know about you. I mean, we think at Icon Source that this NIL era is really going to provide a great opportunity for student athletes to individualize themselves, to show a little bit more character, to let people know what they're interested in so that brands can engage with them and allow them to create authentic partnerships for them to speak and endorse their brand or opportunity or restaurant or whatever it may be. What's something that we might not know about you that Foster Moreau could capitalize
on? I'm very into, I'm slightly into social media. I'm very into kind of the gaming world.
Okay.
And a bunch of different facets. I enjoy a lot of different stuff. As a matter of fact, I got Alec Ingold, our fullback, in the comments. That's my Warzone partner.
What's up, Alec?
Awesome guy. But that's another cool thing that I could build my brand and bring content to my page myself through video games. It's such an incredibly popular thing that so many people are engaged in. I'd find a lot of value in that for a bunch of different guys. I mean, probably 60% of guys on certain teams all play a certain type of game in any different type of way.
All right. I love that. That's great to know. You put that on your Icon Source page. Gaming companies can reach out to you and say, hey, Foster, let's work on something right now. And if you had any choice, you can look at it now. So say you're a student athlete in 2021 or go back to 2018 when y'all beat up on Georgia, which was your most memorable memory while at LSU. What is one brand that you would say, man, I would love to work with them, love to create a partnership so I could endorse some of their stuff? Give me one back when you were in school, and I'd love one for 2021.
Oh, I mean, oh God. You're really putting me in a corner here. Super putting me in a corner. Hey, I'm not gonna limit myself. I'm not gonna.
Smart man. You are a smart man. Okay, you get the game.
I wouldn't want to limit myself, and I wouldn't want to give too much free promo. There's a lot of great companies out there. I mean, clothing wise, I mean, I have a lot of different companies that I've gone with in the past, and I like a lot of different things. So like right now I'm wearing freaking Nike shorts.
Okay.
I got slides on. I got a built tee. I mean, I got a bunch of different stuff. I got cuts in my closet. Like there's a bunch of cool clothing brands that I would have loved to work with back in college. I mean, I was always Nike, always wore Nike cleats. So, I mean, Nike's a great company. But yeah, I'm not going to limit myself.
Are you one of the guys, tell me this, I'm assuming you don't discriminate when it comes to brands. Are you one of the guys that will wear a Nike hat, Puma shirt, Adidas slides, and some Under Armour shorts?
Normally I'm rocking with the same throughout. I'm a big T-shirt guy of different places. I just kind of like I don't know. I kind of like making it my own and kind of making my own. Let the man make his style. Don't make the style make the man. You know what I mean?
I can get down with that. No, I totally agree. All right. Well, I mean, this has been awesome. I want to ask you before we let you go, if you could talk to LSU's football locker room right now in regards to NIL, in regards to what all is about to change in college football, what would be your simple message to those guys as July 1st really comes into view here?
I just tell them to be open, do their research, and understand what's at stake and the opportunity that's being presented to you as a student athlete. It could give you great perspective on the business side of the sports world and really just give you an awesome opportunity to facilitate your brand and use third party teams to do such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a historic day when these student athletes are able to be compensated. I think a lot of good's going to come from it. And Foster Moreau, seems like you agree, man. Hey, we really, really appreciate your time to join us here on a live episode of the Inside Source. It's been awesome talking to you. Great meeting with you. You got a new fan in me, so I got to show some love to the Las Vegas Raiders here this fall. Have a great off season. Stay healthy. Is there any last words you'd want to add before we let you go?
No, I got nothing. Stay happy, stay hydrated, love yourself, and love God. That's about all I got for you.
I love it, man. What a great way to send everybody off on their Tuesday evening. Appreciate everybody tuning in. For Foster, I'm Drew Butler. Thanks so much for tuning in to this live episode of The Inside Source.
Thanks for listening to The Inside Source. Every week, hear what brands, agents, and athletes have to say about sports marketing. If you would like to reach me directly, you can email me, chase@iconsource.com. Have a great day.